Damn. Man, I cannot catch a break in fantasy, bro. Like in one of my leagues, I'm just be struggling. Look, man, it's going to be revenge week for the 49ers to see if they can beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, man, as I sit here watching this boring ass game, it's actually been pretty good. It's just a little inconsistent from Joshua Dobbs, but as I sit here watching the Bears versus the Vikings game, I just obviously Dobbs or he's not Kirk Cousins, but I'm still surprised on how we got beat by the Minnesota Vikings. I'm surprised how we lost to the Cleveland Browns, and I was quite a little upset how we got blown out by the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, man, it's no secret. The best team in the NFL is the Philadelphia Eagles. On a consistent basis, all year round, they're the dominant team. They have one of the hardest schedules, and they still remain the best team with the best record in the NFL. The bookies, they'll tell us that the Niners, are favored against the Eagles in Philadelphia. We don't even have home field advantage. So the hype is real. And the Niners aren't the best team in the NFL. They've been more or less inconsistent, right? In comparison to the Eagles. I mean, we have a 9-3, 8-3 record, but the Eagles are 10-1, right? What's going on, Vince? In-season playoff preview. Must win. I'm watching the games too. Vikings heating up after all those interceptions. Yeah, man, they just marched down the field and scored a touchdown. I had Addison playing in one of my leagues, and the score was 144 points to 145. I was up by 1, and Hawkinson just caught, a 20-yard touchdown catch. So I'm going to lose in that league, and I'm not only just going to lose that week, but that pretty much eliminates me. I just I played my best, a perfect lineup that I possibly could, and I just couldn't get that job done. I had Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. I had the running back from the Seattle Seahawks, I think Kenneth Walker. I had Bijan Robinson, Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back, Rashad White. A mixture of decent receivers like Jalen Waddle and Addison and Deontay Johnson, Dallas Cowboys defense, and my record is 4-8. I've lost a lot of close games, but this week it's also another close week, and they just fucking threw the ball to Hawkinson. He's gonna eliminate me. But yeah, Vince goes, I'm watching the games too. Vikings are heating up after all those INTs. Oh shit, I read that. 49ers are as healthy as they can be, minus our safety, Hufanga. Yeah, man, that's actually a really good point that you bring it up, Vince. I will say this. Coaching isn't just putting your players to succeed in positions to make plays, right? One of the things that about coaching, right, or being the head coach is about protecting your players, protecting the players from themselves, protecting them players from overworking and giving them a severe overload. You have to rest your players. When I look at Kyle Shanahan and I look at his father, Mike Shanahan, and I look at their time when they were coaching the Washington Redskins, they destroyed the career of Robert Griffin III. If you look at pretty much every single year of Niner football under Kyle Shanahan, their quarterbacks get hurt. Everybody wants to make this big deal. Like, oh, if we had, Niner fans, they're like, oh, if we had Brock Purdy, it would have been a different game. We also failed to protect Josh Johnson, the fourth stringer. Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt. Trey Lance was hurt. All in 1 year. The year before that, Jimmy always got hurt as well. Trey Lance was not playing and active on the field. Kyle does not know how to protect his players. When I look at Christian McCaffrey, who's been the MVP for the Niners this year, right? He's been a dog, a workhorse. Obviously, he's an asset. He's very talented. He can catch off the backfield, runs amazing routes. beautiful hands, strong physical, his vision, the way he prepares. Christian McCaffrey is amazing. But I'm like, bro, put in the other 3 running backs that we have. And Kyle does not do that. This is what I'm trying to talk about. Kyle's inability to protect his best players. Like, how many times have you guys seen Elijah Mitchell play this year? And he's been hurt. What about Jordan Mason or Davis Price? It's always Christian McCaffrey. Probably, I don't know if there's like 80 times that the Niners have the possession of the ball for 80 plays, 60 plays, I don't know. About 80% of the time, Christian McCaffrey's in the backfield. And I understand you want to put your best players in there, but again, you risk overworking Christian McCaffrey. I will say this about the Philadelphia Eagles. Their schedule has been extremely tough, tougher than the Niners. And they're still 10-1. But more importantly, they're relatively fucking healthy as well. I think they lost Dallas Goedert, their tight end, and I think one of their safeties, which is why they got Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans. But yeah, man, it's when I look at Kyle, it's just like, bro, you like this is a boxing channel, but when I look at Virgil Ortiz's father overworking his son having to cut weight, and the father not really knowing the limitations, or hey, you know what, Virgil, take a rest. Let's relax this week. Let's not work so damn hard. Kyle doesn't live by that mantra either. Not only is it the importance of a medical staff, right? But resting your players is necessary, especially in this league, especially the way Kyle goes about operating. He's very, hard-nosed football. And at the end of the day, you'd be like, man, you sound like a pussy, Ricky. Look, bro, I know this is a physical sport. Obviously, everybody knows that. And injuries are part of sports. They are part of physical sports. But so is rest. R&R is fucking vital. It is extremely important. Okay, especially when we play smash mouth football, you got to throw in Jordan Mason. You have to get Elijah Mitchell involved. Just so you got to save Christian McCaffrey from himself. Because Christian McCaffrey is going to be like, yeah, dude, I want fucking 4 touchdowns. I want 250 total offensive yards. Either it's passing or, receiving or running. He's not going to say no. You know what I'm saying? But the coach has to oversee the bigger picture. The Niners need to win this game, man. Mainly so we can have that rest. Okay? So we can have the rest, because if we were able to beat the Eagles, and let's say the Cowboys were able to beat the Eagles as well, maybe we get the top seed. Maybe. Vince goes, as long as you didn't leave points on the bench, you're good. Walker from Seattle is injured. They use Zach Charbonnet. I have both of them. Walker was out. Yeah, man, I put both of them on the bench. I had Bijan Robinson. I rocked out with a 3-headed monster. The other guy has Christian McCaffrey, and they continue to ball out. I did well, but his team just done better. That's just kind of really what it came down to. Let me see. In one of my ESPN leagues, I'm winning 123 to 122. I'm probably gonna lose that one as well. But in that one, I have like an 8-4 record or some shit. And then in the NFL fantasy league, like I said, I'm like 4-8, and I'm losing 155 to 147. All year long, pretty much. Every time I've been going up against the other teams, they've just always had a great week where their players just exceed expectations by like threefold. It's been ridiculous. Niners need to rest CMC when they can, but I can see Kyle trying to get CMC the MVP. Yeah, I agree. It might backfire on him if he's not careful. We need Christian McCaffrey for the long haul. Yeah, I agree. And you notice it. He's been consistently scoring a rushing touchdown or any simple offensive touchdown the whole year. So I understand that he probably wants him to be offensive player of the year. Things going to be a little difficult with Tyreek Hill, but it doesn't mean you stop trying, right? So I completely understand that aspect and that mindset that Kyle Shanahan is. But again, when you're looking at the bigger picture, we're talking about Super Bowl. Get Price, get Mason, Get Elijah Mitchell involved, because if they ball out as well, I look at, for example, the Carolina Panthers when they had Jake Delhomme. They had Smash and Dash, D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, I want to say. And both of those running backs, they both rushed over 1,000 yards apiece. Kyle could never do that. Not just joking. Kyle has in the past, actually, if I'm not mistaken, with like probably Moser and Jeff Wilson, or, you know, Christian McCaffrey with Jeff Wilson. I'm not too sure. But that's what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to run the ball with and just rest your players. Get everybody involved. That's why it's a fucking 53-man roster team. But yeah, give me a second, guys. I believe it's due the 15th. I want to go to another point, Vince, because you kind of brought it up in regards to injuries. Brock Purdy got hurt, right? This January against the Eagles, I want to say, in the NFC Championship game. Who's to say we don't stop Hassan Reddick and Brock Purdy gets hurt again? What happens if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt in that same game? What about Trent Williams? Sometimes all three of your best players get hurt. It's not of the realm of impossibility. Vice versa, it can happen to the Eagles as well. Jalen Hurts and Hassan Reddick can get hurt. The thing is this, when it comes down to football and when it comes down to really any sport, is everyone is battling through injuries. Everyone is battling through ailments, and everyone is pushing and grinding, you know, through something. That is the rigors of the NFL. That is the rigors of life for competing athletes that play in physical sports, right? Is that injuries are part of the game. The best team going into the playoffs is the healthiest team. Sports Archives goes, aren't you a 49ers fan? Yeah, man, I'm a Niners fan, man. It's one of those things that I kind of talked about in the past. Is like, I'm very critical of like myself, of the things that I love and like and follow. It's just support, you know, it's support. But like when I look at a lot of Niner fans, man, I mostly beef with my own Niner fans, like my fellow Niner fans. I don't you know, I'm not clashing heads or beefing with opponent teams. You know what I'm saying? It's always with my own. Like the minute you criticize something or ponder a question, people start like, man, are you a Niner fan? Man, you're not Mexican enough. What the like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's just honest criticism. Like when I look at the Niner fans, and I just look at any fan base, when your team loses, there are always a million of excuses. You know, when you're going well, everything, you know, no one complains. But you know, when I look at the Niners, our fan base, they like to coin themselves faithful, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but when I was watching the Niners with Alex Smith and all those early 2000 years, I never, that wasn't a thing for me. I never heard of anybody saying, oh, you have to be Niner faithful. I feel like that's a modern thing. I feel when Jimmy G came in with the Niners organization, we started coining ourselves faithful. Like I've been faithful to that team when they fucking sucked. But I knew that the team had amazing talent. We just didn't have the coaching, or, you know, we just didn't know how to win as a team. Kind of like the Oakland Raiders right now, or sorry, Las Vegas Raiders. They have a bunch of studs on that team. They are just trying, they're in the process of figuring it out, right? Whether it's the owner, the general manager, hiring the right staff, maybe the right medical staff, maybe the right offensive coordinator, right? But yeah, man, I like to challenge, quote unquote, the, you know, like the status quo. So like, I'm a big time Niner fan. You know what I'm saying? I have, you know, Niner Joe Montana trading cards, right? I have binders full of like collage of, you know, Brandon Lloyd stickers and newspaper articles. You know what I'm saying? But doesn't mean that, you know, you get, like, if you're a Jaguars fan, right? Archives, you can still criticize your team. Doesn't mean you hate them, or, you know, you just don't have to be a fucking like an extremist. Like I'm not radical. Like I'm not even it's all about truthful. It's just about just being like I just have my own distorted perspective about things, you know. But it's just like Kyle. Like I understand that he's an amazing head coach or an offensive coordinator, but you know, like anybody, he's not perfect, you know, and it's just about choosing that perfection. And you're only perfect once you win that Super Bowl. But yeah, I will go to this point with the Philadelphia Eagles. They've been the best team in the NFL, right? This year on a consistent weekly basis. But I will say this, maybe they get burnt out going into the playoffs. Sometimes you leave all your best games, right, during the regular season. So by the time that you go into the playoffs, a surprising team like the Seattle Seahawks with Marshawn Lynch, they upset the New Orleans Saints with a fucking 6-10 or a 7-9 record, right? Because the NFC West that year fucking sucked. But Marshawn Lynch has this amazing beastquake run, and he upsets the New Orleans Saints. And everyone starts like, oh, we got to change the rules. If, you know, the division leader doesn't have, you know, this X amount of wins, you know. But basically what I'm saying is that could happen to the Philadelphia Eagles, where a team that barely makes the playoffs upsets them. Because they have nothing to lose in the expect. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you leave it all during the regular season. Come playoff time, you're like, "Fuck, this is basically one and done." You know, when the regular season, like Fred Warner says, "Man, I don't really care about the regular season. I'm just ready for playoff football," and I concur. You know, but obviously you have to win games to eventually get there, and then hopefully you're healthy enough and X, Y, and Z. Let me read some of these. Okay. I hate when fans make excuses like rigged because their team lost. TFTI. The fuck talking ish. Nah, I have no idea what Drew. I don't even know what that means, bro. Sports Archives goes there. I hate when fans make excuses like they're rigged because. Oh no, this is the correction of the. Gotcha. Yeah, man. Um, Yeah, look, man, I'm gonna try to keep it short because I'm not trying to keep this long. You know, maybe we can chop it up football. It looks like the Chicago Bears might just pull this dub. They're in field goal range. There's 55 seconds left. They just got a flag. I'm a little delayed on my stream, but yeah, I will say this: Hassan Reddick has been the best pass rusher. Well, he will probably be the best pass rusher. Um, in Sunday's, you know, afternoon game against the Niners. Well, actually, let me rephrase this. Hassan Reddick has been a better pass rusher than Nick Bosa has this year. Now, I'm not too sure what the stats are, but Nick Bosa has been, you know, he's barely getting into his groove of things, right? Because he didn't really have an off season. He was looking to get that new contract, and he got paid as the best, you know, defensive player, if I'm not mistaken, over TJ Watt. So he's getting his stamina in. But Hassan Reddick has been the best between, you know, the NFC pass rushers. Maybe not Hawkinson, but Hutchinson from the Detroit Lions. I think he's also been very impressive as well. Sports Archives by Vince goes, my brother-in-law tries to tell me it is scripted. I'm like, man, get out of here. It's how you view things. Just enjoy the entertainment and root for your team. I agree, Vince. No, man, I when the script quote unquote gets leaked, yeah, man, there's sometimes I wouldn't say it's scripted, right? Because I'm not gonna consent and write on a contract. Hey, you know what? I need you to tackle me and break my ACL because you know I don't want to play football no more. Fuck no. You know, it's not scripted. But there are calls that do get, or players that do get preferential treatment over others. And there are little things that dictate and could favor a team over another. But that doesn't mean there's a script, you know. But there, you know, like again, I think we talked about it briefly last night. You know, like guys like Travis Kelce and Mahomes, you know, they do generate a lot of money. They do have big followings. They do bring a lot of endorsements. People want to link through association with them. So yeah, there's that aspect of it where you want those players to continue to succeed. because whether we like it or not, you know, what's her name? Taylor Swift is good for the NFL. Taylor Swift, if she were to attend baseball games, the ratings of MLB would go higher. So having celebrities, kind of like when they sit courtside in basketball games, it's a big fucking thing. Obviously, the NFL is trying to like really highlight that and kind of push it down, but they're just trying to bring in new fans, you know. So yeah, those aspects are good for the sport in general, you know. Drew says so far yes, so far yes to what, like Hassan Reddick and Nick Bosa. Drew 123 says, but since Chase came in, he's number one in sacks. Yeah, man, that look, bro, what the Niner organization did to get Chase Young for a third round pick, that's crazy to me. That's fucking insane. I almost think to myself, like, how stupid can the Washington Commanders be by not asking for more for Chase Young? That's a fucking amazing player, a disgruntled player at the time, but you can't let a player like that walk. You can't let him walk, especially not for a third rounder. That's like giving up Peyton Manning and just be like, yeah, you know what? He's got a neck injury. Give me a 6-rounder. Like, what the fuck? I still Peyton Manning, bro. I still want 2 number ones, you know? That's insane to me. Vince goes, there's too much on the line for the NFL to have this or risk follow the most important sport in the U.S. Yes, referees can influence what they can, but the refs are not out there making plays / tackling. I agree. I completely agree. And when I look at, let me see this, is it presents, share screen, right? And my internet's lagging, so if the playback isn't really smooth, I apologize. On every time I use my MacBook Pro, I haven't updated it since like 2019, and the reason for that is because I have down here at the bottom, as you can see, I have Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Outlook. And I bought these programs from like Best Buy, I don't know, like 8 years ago. But nowadays, if you update your computer, all that runs through an app. So now you have to pay a monthly subscription. And I paid like a fucking $100 to $150 for all those programs. I'm not trying to pay a monthly subscription. So that's the reason I haven't updated my computer. So it's always a little lagged. Even if you look at the top right corner where it says Monday 8:15, it's not 8:15. Even my clock is wrong. It's 8:06. So anyway, I know this is like stupid details, but anyway, if it's like laggy or kind of choppy, it's because of this program that overheats my computer. Yeah, I'm not about to show you all that. But basically what I wanted to show here is Hassan Reddick has been causing havoc through every single team. I'm not going to lie. When I see Reddick play on the Eagles, he reminds me of Aldon Smith. He reminds me of Aldon Smith. I'm like, bro, he's very athletic. He runs the ball, you know, the way he goes about his pass rush, it's Aldon Smith-like, you know, and he doesn't get enough credit for the amount of greatness that he's been doing. Look, if we were to compare rosters, right, between the Niners and the Eagles, I think overall maybe the Niners are slightly better, and it's mainly because of the addition of Chase Young, right? And that we stole, you know, the defensive tackle Jason Hargrave from the Philadelphia Eagles, right? But if we look at the O-lines, even though we have Trent Williams, they have Jason Kelce and they have Lane Johnson. When you look at quarterbacks, I'm probably taking Jalen Hurts over Brock Purdy. Receivers, I got to go with the Eagles. Even though I love Debo, Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and not Calvin Ridley, but Devontae Smith, that's fucking nasty. We got the running back game on lock. Like, Christian McCaffrey is way better than DeAndre Swift. Linebacker core, defensive line, Niners have that. Secondary, I'm going to give it to the Eagles. I don't know if they have Sauce Gardner, but Kevin Byard and their corners, with Darius Slay, I got to give them that hump. So it's like damn near 50-50. You know what I'm saying? It's really close. It's really close if you were to go down to like just nitpick rosters. Sports Archives goes exactly. Entertainment. I didn't cry like a little bitch when the Niners dog walked the Jags 34-3. No excuses. Go Jags. Yeah, man. And at the end of the day, it's like you lost the battle, but you didn't lose the war. You know what I mean? Like, don't put all your eggs in one in basket. You know what I mean? Don't drop 10,000 thinking the Jaguars are going to beat the Niners and just lose, your whole year of worth of earnings just on one fucking match. Just don't do that, And I think that's where like a lot of people start, um, losing a lot of those bets. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. And we get very emotionally attached, to certain situations. Hold on. I want to see if I won in this league, man. Oh, yes. I won by 1 point. Yes, sir. 123 to 122 on one of the leagues that I'm actually doing pretty good. It's actually the league that I'm with Drew. I left a lot of points on the board on my bench. I have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Pacheco, Mike Evans, and they did really good. But Dan Schultz, Gus Edwards, and DeAndre Hopkins, they struggled. I had Bijan Robinson on the bench because I had him originally in, and then I substituted Gus Edwards because all year long I've just been benching Gus Edwards because I have a three-headed monster. I mean, you tell me otherwise. You know what I'm saying? And I left Rice, right? Rashee Rice, the receiver from the Chiefs, and I was feeling that he was going to pop off. But I was like, man, Carolina Panthers, their weak sauce. I'm going to put my homie DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? He had one of the best Halloween costumes, I think, last year or 2 years ago when he was a blue avatar. And ever since then, he's never hit my bench. Dad, fucking love Hopkins. Anyway, that's just like a stupid detail. I don't even know why I brought that up. But that's my guy right there. Look, man, what do you guys want to talk about? Because I just kind of like I feel like I'm done, man. I don't even know if I made any of my points, but just to wrap it up a little bit, I feel like Kyle's got to do a better job of protecting Christian McCaffrey. Again, this is football, physical football. Anybody can get hurt at every given time. But I want to see Elijah Mitchell, Price, and Mason get much more involved. Got to rest Christian McCaffrey. Now, you got to rest him for this weekend's game. That's what you put him in for, There's games like the Arizona Cardinals that you can beat them with your third stringers, like there's just some games that you're just like, let the young guys shine. For instance, look at the Denver Broncos. They let go of Randy Gregory. They traded another player, right? For pennies on the dollar. And they're letting their young players that are trying to make a name for themselves, right? And guess what they're doing? They're on a fucking winning streak. They took the poisonous fruit from the tree, and that tree is blossoming up in Denver. Russell Wilson is looking, better. I'm not going to say prime vintage Russell when he was in Seattle, but he's looking better. He's finally living up to that. I don't think he could ever live up to, but if he were to make the playoffs and go deep, he can be at least say like, at least we got the Russell Wilson that we expected when we gave up Noah Fant and all those draft picks. Sports Archives goes, do you gamble? Yeah, man, I like to gamble responsibly, if that makes any sense. I feel like anytime that you're gambling, you're never gambling responsibly, but I like to bet on small little parlays. Let's say I'll deposit like $50 on my accounts and then just, do like 10 parlays of like $3, $5. Sometimes, if I've been hitting on those parlays, I'll double down and put like 200, 300 down. But usually I kind of keep it small and then just try to do like simple multipliers, I'm I wouldn't say I'm frugal like that, but I just feel like that's where I've been actually maximizing my the earnings. Because when I put $100 bets to win like 101 ratios, it just never works for me. But when I do small little multipliers like $20, and I win maybe like 3 games to win like 400, that's usually where I hit. And then I get stupid when I do hit that 400 game. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to double down and I'm going to put 400 on the Minnesota to upset the Bears. And guess what? The Bears just fucking beat you last minute because it's any given Sunday and the score's 12-10. I think we talked about it yesterday as well, how like the Vikings would beat the Bears. And guess what? Like I kind of talked about like if Justin Fields plays the way I know Justin Fields can play, they can pull the upset. And that's kind of what happened. But yeah, man, I like to gamble. I'm not picking on you, by the way, Sports Archives. That was just a rhetorical, like, like a little soliloquy that I was going about. Give me a second, guys. Hey, what's going on, babe? I'm just right here chopping it up with the boys here on the stream. You're on speaker, by the way.
On speaker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wanting you to say hi to the babies.
Ya menos algo, pues, ¿no? Pero, yeah, I'll say hi to them later on. I mean, it's not like they can talk to me, you know? Woof, woof. All right, baby. I love you, eh? Bye. But yeah, man, I want to say going back to the like gambling and all those little situations, it's just yeah, man, I like to gamble. I feel I don't really gamble and on everything, mainly just boxing and football. And I'm gonna tell you this: when it comes down to football, I don't know nothing. I have no idea about football this year. Last year, talk to me. I'm your guy. I was winning bets. This year, I kid you not, I can't fucking get these football picks correct. I can't win my parlays in football. In boxing, I'm a stud, bro. Like I've been winning these boxing bets. Nothing crazy, but I've been doing solid. Sports Archives goes, am I alone in chat? Yeah, man, I don't really get a lot of people to chat. It's usually between you and Vince the last couple of weeks, man. So I appreciate it. Vince goes, I don't gamble because I hate to lose. It actually backfires on me. You know what, man? I hate betting on my Niners because if they lose, it's a double whammy. I lose because my favorite team and I lost money. That's when I really get into my feels. And I can be having an amazing weekend. But if those two things happen, bro, I like it just, it's a downer. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? It just messes up my mood. And I know it shouldn't. Like, I'm like, man, I had a great weekend. This happened. I made a lot of memories, took amazing photos and videos, made dope ass edits. And guess what? Like, that thing gets overshadowed just because the Niners lost. So I'm like, fucking A, dude. That's when I hate to gamble. When I gamble, like, especially when I gamble and I'm so sure in my heart that I'm like, that game, they're not gonna lose, and that's one of the games that loses. Those hurt me. I'm like, what the? Because I'm an underdog guy. You know what I'm saying? I love betting for the underdogs, and it doesn't matter in anything in life. If David Benavidez is fighting Canelo, I'm betting for David if he's the underdog. If Andy Ruiz is fighting Wilder, I'm betting the Ruiz. If Duarte, who's fighting Ryan Garcia, if he's the underdog this Saturday, I'm rooting for Duarte, It's not that I don't like Wilder or, Ryan Garcia. I just like the underdog, bro. I don't like when people get overlooked, I was rooting so badly for Jose Benavidez, and I put some money on Benavidez. Jose, right? The brother that lost to Charlo. The only thing with Jose, I was like, bro, why are you giving Charlo 7 fucking pounds? He's not even a champion. The belt isn't on the line. And why are you giving him 7 pounds as if he's Canelo? I don't gamble. Oh, yeah. Sports Archives goes, then how did you hit 12K subs? Nah, man, if you look at the channel, I mainly I got those subscribers because I used to do in the years past, I used to either upload fights or do highlight videos. I never really went live. Going live was a relatively new thing, and I used to do music videos in the past, and that's where the activity was much more active, especially in the highlights and the Timothy Bradley fight versus Jesse Vargas. So that's where a lot of subscribers just like sub to the channel and never look back otherwise. But I never really built, a proper community. I just uploaded highlights, uploaded some music videos that I've done in the past, some beats or whatever. But I never really uploaded content. As like, I guess now you can say I would upload maybe one video for 3 months or one video every 6 months. Doing this live thing is a relatively new thing that Drew and my brother Speed, we we've been doing of late, maybe like the past 2 months. But even then, I'm going about promoting the channel. If I chose to promote the channel, I'm going about it the wrong way. You should not do lives to build a fan base. You should do short videos and then go live to do like much more elaborative. I'm kind of doing it backwards, but to me, I'm just shooting the shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm just having fun. I'm not really trying to build anything here, but just to chop it up with a few people and just be like, hey, what's going on? Sports Archives goes. PBC was protecting Charlo, little bro. Yeah, no, I feel like not only the PBC, the WBC, right? I mean, they should have done strip Charlo. And I know Jamal is grateful that the WBC stood by them, stood by him during the time. Those are the WBC. Jamal can always have a home with the WBC. It's actually pretty admirable. But in terms of the rules and regulations, when there's guys like Carlos Adames, right, who's fighting basically all the middleweights, like Johnny Beck, if I'm paying sanctioning fees, why the fuck am I paying for an interim belt when I want the full-fledged belt? Either strip that dude, and when he comes and be's active, then we can fight one another. But yeah, man, I feel like it's neither here nor there. Like fuck it, dude. I'm not gonna cry about it anymore. Sports Archives goes, I'm struggling to hit 1K. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to do videos like 10 years ago. When I was like 19 and 18 years old, I used to do videos and talk boxing very often on YouTube. Then I stopped just because I don't really like going on here really like, I talked about this in the past, but I don't really like criticizing people, especially like professionals, you know what I mean? Or just anybody in real life, but just for the sake of conversation and dialogue, fuck it, why not? But the best thing to do if you're trying to hit that 1K and actually establish a fan base, your titles and your thumbnails are very important for eye-catching moments, just for somebody to tune in, right? Especially your thumbnails. You have to like Photoshop and create your own thumbnails and have your shtick. You also depends on, yeah, that's what I would go about it, and then be very interactive. I'm in real life, I'm pretty reserved. I don't really like share a lot of things that I'm doing or whatever the case may be. I don't really post on any of my social media just because, like, I don't know. Not that I'm trying to be private, but I just it's kind of strange. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't really give you the best advice to build a channel because I don't even know how to fucking build a channel. But yeah, man, I would say thumbnails are very important, and how you go about. A lot of people want to go to channels that are reasonable and they produce logic and there's facts, right? Everybody's all about facts. Nah, bro, just speak your truth. That's the best thing that I can do. If you're wrong, be wrong your whole life. You know what I'm saying? It's your life. If you don't know it all, good. You're not supposed to know it all. A lot of people, if you just speak nothing but rationality and facts, then you can't debate that. Like if I tell you 1+1 is 2, everybody here are gonna agree, yeah, it's 2. But I'll be like, nah, bro, 1+1 is fucking 11. You're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, if you add this one plus another one, which are 2 sticks, you get 11. You get 2 sticks. You know what I mean? Like, just think about it from a different perspective, just for the sake of conversation or playing devil's advocate. Do that, and I guarantee you your channel will blow up. People might call you a troll. People might just laugh at you, but you're going to build a consistent community. And as long as you're just having fun and not being too serious about it, I think you'll have fun with it. And I think that'll grow. Sports Archives goes, who is your favorite boxer? Man, my favorite boxer of all time is Juan Manuel Marquez. When I was a kid, like 9 years old, one of my brother's padrinos, his name was Juan. He used to have these amazing barbecues in his house. And during that time, HBO didn't really have pay-per-views, so they would show them kind of like, just regular HBO. Maybe they were pay-per-views, yeah, because they would do quinelas. Quinelas was basically like, a cup, and you would just choose a round, and anybody that would hit was like kind of playing bingo or the lottery. Anyway, Marquez and Pacquiao, those are my favorite fighters of all time. The way they would just, man, I just remember sitting on the floor on the cold tile and watching on the big screen there. And Marquez and Pacquiao brought the best memories. So those two would be my favorite fighters of all time. I guess in modern history right now, Andy Ruiz. Those fights that he had with Joshua, they've been amazing, man. Even with King Kong Ortiz and Chris Arreola, Andy Ruiz would be my guy right now. I don't care if he's flawed. I don't care if he sucks or he's not dedicated. You know, I just like that moment when he upsetted Joshua. That's probably one of the most shocking, funnest moments. That was Buster Douglas to Mike Tyson moment for me. That was a shock, you know. But I was telling people, like, bro, Andy's got hands, man. He can win. You know, he's better than Baby Miller. And I was kind of happy that he won. Well, not kind of happy. I was extremely joyful. And I like Anthony Joshua. It's just, you know, again, going back with the underdogs, you know, I like the underdogs. Sports Archives goes, he took AJ's soul. Yeah, I would say from that fight, he definitely shook AJ and he really made AJ be very careful. Like AJ lost his thugness, his ruggedness, you know. He lost that animal, that dog in him, because he's never probably experienced something like that against Andy Ruiz. So yeah, he became gun shy extremely, bro. That fight really gave AJ a different outlook in life. But here's the thing. I feel like sometimes AJ's very hard on himself, and don't feel bad. Like, don't be scared. Like, and Andy's a really good fighter. And even though he beat Andy in the rematch, he fought or he boxed very relatively scared. And Anthony Joshua had always been a good boxer. Obviously, he won gold or whatever, but Anthony's best attribute, right, is that fight when he had with Klitschko, is being physical, is not trying to just be this, you know, lightweight, you know, fleet-footed, athletic boxer. No, bro. You're a fucking heavyweight. Fight as a big man. Be ruthless and throw bombs. And guess what? If you get caught, don't get gun shy. You got the muscle to land that same shot that they landed on you, and you're there to knock them out. Be smart about it, of course. Be tactical. You know, don't just be like a street fighter. No, obviously resort to boxing, setting up traps, feinting, jabbing. But like, you're a heavyweight. Act like it. And these last couple of fights, even with not Pulev, but what's his name? Robert Helenius. I'm like, bro, why are you trying to be cute and establish a jab? Like, nah, bro, be rugged. You could have knocked him out in 3 rounds, and you're getting your nose busted in 8. Like, get away from that. I would say that Anthony Joshua needs to either, unfortunately, go back with Robert Garcia, because I felt like he looked really good against Usyk too, or go train with Crunk at the Crunk gym or with Ronnie Shields. You're going to get your beast fighting with those dudes. They're going to fucking be hard on your ass. Pause. You know, they're going to be tough on you. I should say, thing, you know, like Freudian slip, man. That didn't sound too right. Nah, but yeah, Anthony Joshua needs to get back that Dylan White, you know, hunger, that rivalry. That's what he needs. This nice guy approach, like, nah, bro, like, talk your ish. I think that's what Anthony Joshua needs to do. He's trying to say all the right things, be very political, you know, be very reserved and you know, speak in tongues. And it's just like, nah, man, if you are who you say you are, you know, go about that. Again, I just feel like, look, man, I know we were supposed to be talking football, but this is a boxing channel. This is all I know. When I look at the WWE, right, in like less than 5 years or 10 years, the WWE, in terms of their scripts, they've changed completely. When I see the storylines and the backstage you know, buildups with John Cena and Booker T and Vince McMahon, and the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club, and I think when Vince kissed Trump's ass or some shit like that. That would not happen today, bro. Like, and that was just like 8-10 years ago. And hell, maybe even like 15 years ago. But I'm just like, where did people become like, I don't know, like always having to be correct? Why couldn't it just be for the sake of entertainment, you know? I don't know. I just feel like we've given people on social media, online, too much like power, I suppose. Like for example, if someone was talking shit to me on like social media, I wouldn't give a fuck. I wouldn't care if there was a million people talking shit to my channel. I wouldn't care. Like I'm not gonna be here and just trying to reply to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like why? And how does that like? Oh man, they're gonna what do they call it when they're trying to like remove you from social media? I forgot the term that they use, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just think like social media is funny. Like if they deleted my account, what am I gonna cry? Bro, I have my pictures and my videos saved. I could just go under a different alias and repost them. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping, but yeah, I don't even know where I'm going with this. But I just felt like guys like AJ just like don't read off a script. Don't try to be robotic. Just be completely raw, bro. There you go. Cancel culture. They try to cancel you. There you go. And I just feel like unless you're doing some wicked shit, yeah, go ahead and cancel you. But if I'm just saying my opinion about a war or about how Nike sucks or how Coca-Cola exploits, you're like, okay, a lot of people say that. What, just because I say something that a million people are gonna cancel me? Like, boo-hoo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just kind of my things. But going back to football, man. Sports Archives, Vince, Drew, who you guys got winning? Niners or the Eagles? You know what I mean? Who do you guys think? What do you think the score will be? 27-24. Are you guys going to be betting on it? Um, will it be one-sided? Will the Eagles dominate the Niners? Or, will the Niners finally get the revenge that they've been waited ever since January? How do you guys see the game going? And what does this mean? If the Niners were to beat the Eagles, what does that mean? And I'm gonna flip it back onto you guys. What happens if the Eagles beat the Niners without bar no injury? Like what can the Niners say? Like, oh, we didn't have our quarterback. What could we say now? As fans. Sports Archives goes, only soft people do that shit. Yeah, I agree, bro. Imagine trying to live in a world where you have to be perfect with everything you say. You can't. You can't, man. Vince goes, it's going to be a high scoring game for the Niners. Niners need to score points because Eagles will keep coming at them. Yeah, man, I agree. I agree. The Niners are going to, I'll say this, the Niners cannot win this game by only scoring 17 points. Like the 3-game losing streak that we went on against the Cleveland Browns, Minnesota Vikings, and the Cincinnati Bengals, we're not going to beat the Eagles scoring 17. 30 points might be enough. It might not be. I mean, you just saw that with the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, listen, I know Cincinnati Bengals lost Joe Burrow, so they're probably like, oh, man, it's a lost year. But what the fuck is the excuse for the Buffalo Bills? Those dudes are 6-6. They're one game better record-wise than the Oakland Raiders. Sorry, Las Vegas Raiders. If there was ever a team that has disappointed me the most, I'm not even a Bills fan. I like their players, I like their unis, but man, the Buffalo Bills this year have been the most underperforming team. They simply suck. Sunday, they played amazing. That was their version of the best complete football that then essentially can play. They played good defense in the beginning, and then I don't know. But when I look at that roster, Russo, Von Miller, Micah Hyde, and all those safeties, Tre'Davious White, I know a lot of these players are hurt, but that roster just in totality and on the offensive side, I'm like, bro, how you guys 6-6? You guys have the same fucking record as like the Atlanta Falcons and shit. Vince goes, I heard that on the local radio. Some say Niners need to score 38. I will say this. I would like for them to score 38 and just, cram it down their throat. But a 20-10 ball game sounds great for me as long as our defense dominates. If Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Randy Gregory, Eric Armstead, Colin Farrell, Hardgrave, Fred Warner, if they can just hurt, not injure like for the season, but just hurt and let them know this defense is the better and just keep them to 10 points, I would be so happy about that. Even if we scored like 13-10, but it was every single thing had to be earned. There's no cheap yards. If DeAndre Swift goes up the middle, boom, he gets lit up on every play, smash mouth Niner gold rush defense football. I don't even need it to be high scoring, man. I just want to see big hits, man. Big hits. But yeah, realistically, given that this is, like we talked about yesterday, it's an offensive driven league, you're going to have to score a lot of points. So yeah, realistically, it'll probably be, I don't think it'll be 38 or 35. I would probably say like 24-27, 24-28. Sports Archives goes going to be a hard game for both teams, but I got the Niners. Yeah, man. It'll be pretty tough. It'll be it's gonna be a tough game. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. The Niners should dominate the Philadelphia Eagles. We should. Chardavius Ward, right? If you put a safety over the top to help him out at times against A.J. Brown, he can stop A.J. Brown. Fred Warner can stop DeAndre Swift. Our defensive line, with all those first rounders that I just named right now, if we cannot beat Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce, we should be able to dominate those motherfuckers, man. I'm not even going to lie to you. This is what I would do. If I was a defensive coordinator, I'm putting Chardavius Ward to lock up throughout the whole game, one-on-one, right, against Devontae Smith. I'm putting my number one corner against the number two receiver the whole game. And Ward, you're on an island, like they used to do with Darrelle Revis. What I'm going to do with Lenore, right, I'm going to put him one-on-one with A.J. Brown with always safety on the top. I'm going to treat A.J. Brown like he's Calvin Johnson. And I don't know if you guys remember, I don't know if it was Rex Ryan or his brother Rob Ryan, but there was a time when it was Calvin Johnson on the goal line, and they put two DBs on on Calvin Johnson. That's what I'm doing every single time with A.J. Brown. I'm just jamming them up on the line with a safety and a corner. Boom, just taking them out, and I'm stacking the box. Who are you going to beat me with? I'm putting 9 people in the box. Chardavius White, I'm forcing you to try to beat me with Ward and your Devontae Smith. And you're not going to beat me. Fuck your guys' tight ends. You guys don't have anybody else. That's what I'm doing. The Niners were to do that, they would win that game easily, 31-10. I want Jalen Hurts to run. Try to cram the box. I got 9 in the box. That's what I'm going to do. Your option, I got 9. That's what I'm doing. A.J. Brown, he's not ever going to get off the – every time that he lines up, there's going to be 2 people, a safety and a corner, always jamming them off the line. Always. Hell, I'll put Colin Farrell, and I'll put Colin Farrell on the line to jam up A.J. Brown with a corner right there just to help him out. He's not getting past 5 yards on the line of scrimmage. I'm taking him down. I'm bruising him. I'm punching his ribs. That's what I'm doing. Every single game, every single play, every single moment. Ward, you're on the island with Devontae Smith. Kind of like when Rex Ryan told Antonio Cromartie back in 2008, hey, we brought you here for a fucking reason, and that's to stop Pierre Garçon. Revis is going to handle Reggie Wayne. Dude, I'm not allowing that fucking touchdown to ever happen again, right? Because I think Peyton Manning had like a 45-yard connection touchdown to Pierre Garçon. And after Rex Ryan told Cromartie his fucking purpose was to get over this hump against the Colts game, I think the score was like 14-10. Colts still went to the AFC Championship or to the Super Bowl, but, anyway, I'm just kind of like rattling, but that's what I would do. I would do a radical approach, something like that. You guys want to play rugby and do the tuck, what do they call it? The tuck run or whatever's. I'm doing that, and I'm eliminating A.J. Brown, your guys' best player on the field, and I'm forcing you to try to beat Ward with Devontae Smith or try to still run it with 9 people on the box with DeAndre Swift. You want to play that game? Let's play it then. I'm down for rugby. I like my defensive line. I would do radical shit like that. I don't know if it would work. I don't even know the legalities of it, but that's what I'm doing. You want to send A.J. Brown on motion? Cool. I'm just going to shift over, and I'm just going to coach my defensive line just to shift over as well. And then if Colin Farrell has to tally by on D Moore, Chase Young will jam you off the line. Simple approach. It ain't. Anyway, there's this channel that I watch, man. His name is Brett Coleman, right? Let me see if I can pop it up. And Brett Coleman, he put me on a website. I think it was called damn, my computer's gonna be hella slow. All right, here we go. I like to listen to Brett Coleman, and he does these very thorough football videos, right? And he put me on a website called it's like so you can buy merchandise, right? And I like these windbreakers that they have from the Niners. I'm gonna try to view it. You know what I mean? Again, my computer's a little slow, but the website was called. Damn. Unique NFL gear. Let's go to 416. Hold on. Damn, dude, my computer fucking trash. See if I take this mirror screen off, I have a better all right, hold on. I'll just do it on my phone because that's ridiculous. Oh, for those that like football movies, I think the best football movie that I've ever seen was Friday Night Lights, right? And the show was really good too with Kyle Chandler. But there's this amazing movie that Spike Lee put me on when I was watching one of his interviews a long time ago. It's a 1979 football movie. It's called North Dallas 40. Okay. North Dallas 40. North as in North Side, Dallas as in Dallas Cowboy, 40 as in the number. North Dallas 40. If you guys ever watched that movie, it fucking feels like a documentary. For those that don't know, the actor in that movie is Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte, I hadn't really heard of him, to be honest with you, until I watched that movie in 2006 or so called Warrior, the UFC film. And Nick Nolte was the trainer of Tom Hardy, right? And his father. And he had this amazing like where he was drinking alcohol and he had the little earphones of probably how of his time during like the war and the reason why he would drink. And Nick Nolte, if I'm not mistaken, in this movie North Dallas 40, he plays a receiver or a tight end. But going back to what I was saying, that the movie plays out like a documentary. Yeah, he's like taking pain pills to go through like a practice session, and he has these problems. It's a good ass film, North Dallas 40. Anyway, hopefully you guys can hear me all right, because I feel like I'm hella glitching on my end. Man, I said I was only gonna be here live for like 10 minutes, and I'm fucking just blabbering off.
This gift guide is for people who are way too into football. I'm talking like sicko degenerate status, okay? The kind of people who will watch every single Thursday night game from start to finish, no matter how terrible it is. Full disclosure, they are a partner of our podcast. I think a lot of you will like football podcasts, but I wanted to promote them on here too because
give me a second, guys. Give me a second.
Homage has. It's very niche. I don't even think a lot of you will even know what the hell this is. But the NFL, before them on here, to be aware, we're going to talk close.
Okay, the website's called Homage. Give me a second. I'm going to find this website for you guys. And tell me if this windbreaker isn't one of the greatest shit that you guys have ever seen. Homage. .com or what? Wow. That was whack. Next thing you know, you guys are hearing chicks all moaning and shit as I'm on Pornhub. Like, what the fuck? Now, hold on. Check this out. Wow, why wouldn't it let me go in? It says, your clock is ahead. Your private connection can't be established because you are... Man, I can't even show you guys the website. But basically, the website's called Homage, and they have this amazing Niner windbreaker. They have every sports team's windbreaker, by the way. But it's a black and red windbreaker. And for those that are baseball fans, or especially San Francisco Giants fans, the Giants used to have these amazing black and orange windbreakers. That I think they kind of stopped doing it, but it was like a relic from like the early 2000s and 2010s. Now they have like this modern clothing apparel, but yeah, it just don't hit the same as in the years past. But look, man, on that note, I kind of blabbered on and went on these soliloquies and tangents that kind of like there was really no point for it. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Look, man, I hope the Niners win. I expect, honestly, a blowout. Realistically, it'll be a really close game. But I feel that with the depth of the defensive line that we have, right, it's incomparable. There's no other team in the NFL with that many first-rounders like the Niners do. The Eagles come close. So do the Buffalo Bills, right, and other teams. They've come close. But when I think about Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, Colin Farrell, Randy Gregory, Javon Kinlaw, right? Drake Jackson, who was supposed to be our starting opposite to Nick Bosa. A lot of those are first rounders, all pro or pro bowlers. Those men alone should completely dominate the offensive line of the Eagles. To the point where they should be the best players in that game. To the point where the Niners should completely dominate the Eagles in Philadelphia. I believe the Eagles are playing at home. I know they're going to have home field advantage and all these things, but it shouldn't matter when you have that much depth. That's like asking for Aaron Donald, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis. Hell, throw in Justin Tuck and Michael Strahan. That alone, you don't even fucking need Antonio Pierce in the New York Giants. You don't need Corey Webster, Ahmad Brooks or Ahmad Black, the safety. You don't even need those guys. They shouldn't even be non-existent or playmakers. That's how I expect the Niners defensive line. When you have that much depth, even without the addition of Chase Young, that's just like, I don't know, icing on a 10th layer of a cake. The Niner defensive line should just completely take over. When we talk about rotating and being fresh, that's what having a lot of depth on the line has. That's the beauty about having Elijah Mitchell, Mason, and Price. That if in case Christian McCaffrey does get hurt, you do have those guys. And I believe those guys are really good running backs or with the potential to be. But if you're going to play 90% of the snaps on the offense and it's going to be predicated upon Christian McCaffrey every single time touching the ball, you know what I'm saying? How far do you expect to go, come playoff time? Look, guys, on that note, I'm going to head out. Y'all have a good night. It was fun chopping football with y'all. And Vince, thank you for tuning in. Sports Archives, you as well. Happy Monday, gang. And yeah, man.